2024 has been a big year for G.I. Joe Gaming. Started off with stands for our countercades. On the two-player countercades, now he actually has stands for the one-player countercades. And then we got inline risers from G.I. Joe saying goodbye to those risers and hello to all Deluxe with any of our 3/4 scale Arcade1ups. What about Arcade1up Deluxe cabinets? They're a great cabinet, but some of these control decks are a little low. How do we raise this up? When I bought my Pac-Man XL, I sold my Class 81, and when I was waiting for the buyer to come, I was playing in the garage a little bit, got a little bit of a pinch in my back. I do feel the same with this Galaga cabinet. Height on the control deck on my Pac-Man XL is perfect. The Deluxe are just a little bit lower, and you can see Dragon's Lair on the riser. I did put a riser booster under there, but what do we do for Deluxe cabinets? Because if I could just raise this 3 inches higher, it's going to be a lot different. It's also going to kind of go with some of the XLs I have in here. I've done some mods where I'm adding 19-inch screens, so the higher the better on some of these Deluxe. Well, G.I. Joe's got me covered, and he's got you covered too with his newest product, an inline booster for our Deluxe cabinets. When I reached out to G.I. Joe and said, hey, I'm interested in raising up my Galaga cabinet, he said, okay, is it the Galaga Deluxe? We got to be very specific here because some of the Deluxe actually are different. Some have rounded ends, some are square. So Mortal Kombat 2, NBA Jam are going to be completely different than like Pac-Man, Class 81, Galaga, and Ms. Pac-Man. So when you go on G.I. Joe Gaming, and I'll have a link in the description, and you're going through the menu, carefully select. Now, I didn't see some of the colors, and I know this is a pretty new product, so if you do have something like NBA Jam, where you have the orange T-molding on the bottom, you can see the iArcade right here. I know that there's one for Mortal Kombat, which is red, so you might want to just shoot Joel an email and say, hey, you know, do you have the orange to match NBA Jam? Most of the Deluxe should be an easy match. Now, the Galaga is going to be all black. Just a look at the box, we do see a nice hologram here at G.I. Joe Gaming. Yeah, we'll just open up one end here and remove some of the packaging. And you're gonna see Joel is gonna pack this very nice. It'll all come out in one piece. I don't think there's anything left in here. And check it out, we get another G.I. Joe Gaming. I think we're gonna move the cabinet actually in this room. The arcade's just right next door. A little bit more room, and you can see I do have an opening here because I thought I was moving a cabinet in here. Turns out that's kind of on hold for a little bit, but will give us a little bit more space to work with because we're going to have to lay down the Deluxe because of the feet, the white little feet on the bottom. We want a flush look. And once we put this inline booster underneath, it will look like it's all one piece. And we have an A1, and it feels like 2 more pieces. So if you put together an inline riser booster yet, an inline riser I should say, the back end is open. All you're gonna see is the sides and the front. So these should all be flush when we put it together. So not too much weight, and there is some hardware. It'll only take you a couple of minutes. So yeah, these are the white knobs you want. But you have to take off these on the bottom of your Deluxe cab. This looks familiar, just like the iArcade. Actually putting something together like that. Nice quality. We did have the same hardware when we did the inline riser. Okay, and just to recap, we have 4 pieces. This is actually going to be kind of our platform. We have an A1 with B1, and an A1 with B1. So you can see on here how the Deluxe is just going to fall right in this notch. So this black T-molding is going to match the black T-molding on my Galaga. And Joel will send you this. Remove feet from underside of the arcade cabinet so you have that flush look. And then at the end, there's a couple of screws here that will screw in the bottom of that Deluxe stand cab to just ensure that it's not going to rock around. But with that weight, you know, it kind of just, it sits in here, and you can see the holes for the screws. It will really make it one piece and no one's going to be able to tell that you actually put an inline booster underneath. Now we did put the 6 screws in, and we're just going to follow connecting A1 on both A1s. So this is actually going to be your front piece, and then the B1s will kind of keep it all together. So not too bad. Once you get these installed, you do have these dowel pins to keep it in place, and if you've put any Arcade1ups together before, you should be pretty familiar with these. And there is a reminder on here to use the included screws to attach riser to the cabinet and prevent tipping and injury. So that's why we do have these top holes on the very top. We're almost done. We have the A1s connected to the A1, so this is the front, and then this is going to be pretty much the spine of your inline booster. We do have some help from Loki here. She's here for the support and to check out that packaging. She is impressed. What do you think of that packaging, Loki? I mean, she's speechless. It might be easier to put the B1 on one side before you put the other side in, but they are a little loose. I was able to get it in here, but maybe the right way would be build up one side, kind of like an Arcade1up cabinet. You know how you have it tipped over, and then kind of close it in on the other side. But yeah, this is pretty much the finished product. We just have to tighten these 4 down, and we're done. What do you think, Loki? This looks good. You got the nice hologram. I love that, Joel. I love this new logo. It's great. This was the OG. You can see G.I. Joe had some shirts, you know, an average American dad. Now we get that hologram. See one side, you can see that curve coming up, and then on the other, I just don't want this falling on her. We'll just bring in Galaga Deluxe in here, tip it over, remove those white feet, and place it on here. We do have 16 cabs in the actual arcade, so that's why another reason why I brought it in here. A little bit more room to work with, to lay it down. Right now, before we put that inline booster on there, because I'm tight, Loki, we're at 61 1/4. If you add those white feet right there, you're at 61 1/2. All you need is a pair of pliers and just work it a little bit. Might kind of slide off a couple of times, but these should just, you know, kind of pull right out. It's little nails. And now that all 4 of those feet are out, we'll take our inline booster, kind of center it here, and we'll set this on there. We'll get a height on here. Actually, I want to measure Pac-Man XL first, and we'll see after putting this on here if it is actually as high as Pac-Man XL. It's been a while since we've measured Pac-Man XL, coming in at about 64 1/2 inches tall. So right now, removing the feet on Galaga, we're at what, 61 1/4. So 3 inches. It might actually be even with Pac-Man XL. You know, I was just thinking about something. I did read a comment in the Pac-Man XL review. We're about 4 3/4. We're a little under 5 here. And a gentleman said, you know, you're lucky you scored the Pac-Man XL. You know, if you get the Deluxe Pac-Man and you get the inline booster, I keep wanting to call it the inline riser booster, but it's not a riser. It's a booster because there's no risers on the Deluxe cabs. You can basically turn that Pac-Man Deluxe into, you know, as close to an XL as you can with the height, because I think this was a 3-inch riser booster, and we're about 4 1/4. I haven't put the 3 screws on the left or on the right. It's, you know, it's not safe to sit here and start playing because I am going to move it into the other room, and it's probably going to be a little easier if I move it in the 2 pieces. Not that this weighs a lot, but, you know, just kind of shifting it around. But it does make a difference. I mean, you can already see how much higher it is. I'll measure it. And once we tighten it down, you won't see as much of the spacing, but I mean, look, it was made for the Deluxe Galaga cab. I mean, come on, did Joel measure an XL Pac-Man to compare it? Like, this is perfect height. Like, you could put this right next to Pac-Man XL, and it's going to be exactly the same height. Look at this, 64. Actually, what was Pac-Man? 64, I think it was 64 3/4. I mean, look at, we're right there. Yeah, incredible job. I mean, look at this. It's a perfect fit. I'm going to kind of muscle it in once we screw it in. You won't see as much, but it just fits right in those curves. Just make sure you get inside. This is why it's open in the back. You're going to have to kind of crawl in there and get those 3 screws on each side, and it's never going to tip on you, because we could start playing it and it will shift a little bit. So be sure to tighten those down. Now it does help to be friends with Reed Richards. It's a tight fit to get all the way back here. You see the 3 holes on each side. You get it together and check it out. It's all one piece now. Now this review is all about G.I. Joe Gaming, but I want to show you the differences here. If you want the clean deluxe look, I mean, this is one piece. Here's the riser booster for Buy Stuff Arcade. So you're going to see it's more of a frame that it's going to sit in. If you want the flush look, you have options. Both about the same price. I like the deluxe. I mean, I like how this looks. You're going to like the way it looks. I guarantee it. And just in comparison here, if you're familiar with the height of Terminator 2, just on its normal stand here, I mean, T2, one of the tallest Arcade1up cabinets. I mean, look at that. It's almost as high. Look at Big Blue. I mean, we're talking 2-3 inches shorter. This is exactly the same height as the Pac-Man XL. As far as sturdiness, it's going to rock like your typical deluxe, but it will rock together. It's, you know, rock me baby, rock me slowly. Rock me, we're all together here. It's one piece now. Another good thing about keeping it the deluxe style is in the long run, you'll be able to keep more cabinets together, because you can see on a riser, you know, you do get that hang off. The same with the riser booster. So having it one piece, you know, if you get enough, if you get 16 in a room, you might actually have an extra spot for another deluxe. Take one last look at this inline booster. Joel absolutely hit a home run with this. I want to thank Joel for sending me this out for a review. I highly recommend adding this to your deluxe if you're looking to raise it up. And we were raising it over 4 inches, giving it 64 3/4, almost 65 inches high. It's almost as high as Big Blue, Terminator 2. And it won't look so short compared to Time Crisis. Well, I want to thank you for watching. I'll have a link in the description for G.I. Joe Gaming. Joel's about 4 to 6 weeks out. So if you put it in order, just keep in contact with him. There's a lot of orders coming through. A lot of people are just loving this quality of work. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. I would have never thought this would happen. You know, we get boosters, we get risers, we get boosters for those risers, boosters for our deluxe, and now boosters that are inline. Like, this is the year of the mods. Waiting for new releases. You know, if you've been following the home arcade, Buy Stuff Arcade's G.I. Joe Gaming, getting some great products from them. There's something for everybody. This is awesome.